around 20 years ago was the first time that we heard about trees that were bent at the ground as potential Indian marker trees, or trees that were bent at the ground to mark a specific location many years ago. Since the American Indians were not in this area in the last 150 years, the trees traditionally have to be 150 or older to quantify. They bent the trees in order to mark a significant natural feature, whether that would be a low water crossing, a place where they camped, or in other cases a paint rock quarry, an area where they had painted rock that they used to use their face paints, or that they used to gather the color pigments that they used for their face paints. So they traditionally marked a significant natural feature. In other cases in the past, we found some that marked a low water crossing on the river. You got to remember, many years ago, you had several priorities: food, water, and shelter, but the fourth one was direction. Where am I going? How do I get to where I need to go? These were like an early road map that told people where to go.
And so tell me what it takes for this tree to actually be designated as a Indian tree marker, because apparently it has not been quite yet, correct?
Right. This potential tree, this is a tree that has a potential to be a marker tree. We really don't know for sure. We're not the experts. I'm a consulting arborist. I detail all the information I can gather. I try to guesstimate the age. But the last 20 years we've worked closely with the Comanche Tribal Elder Council, their historic preservation officer, as well as the Language and Cultural Preservation Committee. And the standard procedure for us is to gather as much information as we can, and then we present it to the Tribal Elder Council and tribal officials, because they are the ones that can determine, yes, this is a part of our original heritage, or no, it may have just been bent by a natural cause.
So what is it that they do in order to decide whether or not this tree is part of their natural heritage?
Well, one of the first things is they look at the shape of the tree. They also look at the history that we've gathered around the area, whether there's a natural feature, whether there was arrowheads and things like that that were found, artifacts of different kinds, sometimes burial mounds of different kinds, will determine whether or not they might have been in the area. We present the information to them. In the past, they traditionally make the trip down here to inspect the trees. And, you know, that was the one thing that convinced me almost 20 years ago that these are really marker trees. You know, the first one that we found was in Gateway Park in Dallas. We had the tribal elders down here, and I was walking over to the tree with them, and I was talking to James Yellowfish, one of the Tribal Elder Council, and I said, "You folks really seem to know a lot about nature." And he looked at me, held me by the arms, and looked me in the eye, and he says, "We are one with nature." And it raised goosebumps on my arms. Well, as we walked over to the tree, they started to sing to the tree. We all held hands, and we started to sing to the tree. As I started to speak to them, I realized that this is a true marker tree, and that they have a connection to nature that once they get near the tree, they can sense their presence in the past. So that makes them the authority. Looking at the tree, the information I gather is one aspect, but they also like to go out and look at the tree. And that is how they kind of sense whether or not they were here, whether their relatives in the past were here at one point, which to us makes them the authority that says, yes, they are, no, they're not.